one family, one people, one planet, one love, one family, one people, one planet, one love, one family.
Here we are. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to SoulCall Sunday Live. We are so happy to be live and in person here in Columbus, Ohio. If you live close or you want to come visit this fabulous city, make sure you find us, AIAM, American Institute of Alternative Medicine. I got to get this straight. It's like easier to just say AIAM. Like we're so used to acronyms now. I don't know what the words are anymore. But we welcome you wherever you are on the planet. Please take a moment to say hello from wherever you're tuning in from. We love to say hello back. And so this morning, as we continue through the month of May, the theme is Thrive. And today, the topic is Come Alive. So the question is, what makes you come alive? And how do you know when you're not feeling so alive? Because that's kind of an easy thing to recognize, right? When you're just feeling like blasé, or just, I don't even know what's off, but something's a little off. So today I'm going to give you a bunch of little starters, little jump start. Jump start my heart. Remember that song? Who was that? Who sang Jump Start My Heart? If you know, put it in the chat. Jump Start My Heart. I'm going to keep thinking about it because it's like right on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, that kind of stuff. What makes us thrive is what makes us come alive. I remember years ago standing on the corner in Berkeley, California with a little video camera. And as people would walk by, I would just ask them, what's your passion? And oh my gosh, the responses we got, it was really fun. It was different. But there was one gentleman there, I think his name was Ben Smith, and his response was, my passion is you, because we're one. And I'm like, oh, nice. Yeah. So it was so much fun, but that's the question today. What's your passion? What's your soul's calling? And then ways to jumpstart that if we're just not sure. And one surefire way to jumpstart your passion and that inner knowing is to participate in a practice we love here at SoulCall Live called Qigong. It's traditional Chinese medicine. And it allows us to not just sit back and wait for something to happen. It gives us the opportunity to realize how powerful we are when we co-create these happenings, this existence together. So this morning, we invite Deborah Weisenberger-Lippitz to lead us in the practice of Qigong. So wherever you are, if you're able to stand up and do it, do it. But if you're in your chair, do it in a chair if you feel comfortable. And if maybe you're recovering from some procedure or something like this, watch and do it mentally. There's no difference. The mind, the body, once you connect the mind, body, and intention together, it helps us to heal ourselves by accessing this cosmic force, life. Welcome, Deborah.
Hello, everyone. Today we are going to work on making an inner connection, opening our consciousness, our inner lighthouse through our Qigong. You may sit or stand in a comfortable healing posture. Please look forward with the eyes open from inside the mind's home, stretching the vision to infinite space. Gather all the healing qi, good information, wisdom, and pull it back into the mind's home and naturally close the eyes. Our inner awareness begins to awaken when the outside merges with our inner essence, naturally softening, relaxing the entire body, opening up, merging us all together, heart to heart. Now very gently allow the hands to move upward in front of the face elbows pointed down. Now focusing on the hands, begin to move the fingers, moving the fingers. Focus on the fingers, moving. Tucking the chin to merge with the neck, opening the throat. Fingers moving. Now merge inside with the mind's home. Massaging gently our consciousness. Massaging, opening, massaging deep inside. Massaging inside, opening, transforming, opening, transforming. Then gradually stop the movement. Observing chi inside. Then slowly bring the palms together in front of the chest in praying hands position. And very gently open the eyes, smiling from the inside out with a new awareness. Knowing the longer you practice this, the more quickly the inner connection merges. Enjoy.
Just finding our seats and just coming into the knowing that, feeling that chi. And welcoming some new friends into the room. We're going to take this into a meditation. Allow yourself to feel the energy moving through your body, and just we're tuning into how we welcome opportunities to come alive. And so the first practice is this meditation practice through a beautiful song called Open Wide My Heart, calling in that magnetic force of the heart. With the video, Open Wide My Heart, the song video.
Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my open wide my heart. Open wide my heart, 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 open wide, open wide my heart, open wide my heart, open wide my
In this moment, with our hearts wide open, activate us with that divine spark. Keep us ever in tune with the cosmic sound of our soul's calling. fill us with love. Fill us with wisdom. Thou art wisdom, and thou dost know the cause and end of all things. We are spirit. We want to know life's true mysteries, life's true joyous duties. The wisdom in me shall show all that thou dost know. As we tune in to the symphony of sound, that sonic nourishment, may we be ever reminded, rehearted, ramped up, amped up with the juice that is our way of being, our way of co-creating. Every step we take, every thought we think, every word we utter, every silent prayer, may it be laced, may it be iced, juiced with the cosmic love of all creation. We give great thanks knowing that we don't know all the time, but we know love. We are love, we live love. Om Shanti, peace. So why did we start with Open Wide My Heart to talk about coming alive? Something so sacred and deep. It's that activating spark that comes from Source. And it's like the language of the heart. The language of the heart leads us right to the soul's calling. Right to the soul's calling. How many of you had an experience of that? When you're doing what you love, you just feel connected. You don't feel tired. I don't know about you, but there are these things in life sometimes that the have-to-dos. There aren't many, really, when you think about it, but sometimes they are there. And if you did a reframe before you started out and said, well, this have-to-do is because I love the whomever I'm doing it for or the whatever I'm doing it for. If we make everything a labor of love, it becomes a way of love, a way of life, you know? So if we can just transform and say, I get to do, instead of I have to do, we'll find in the giving, we come back to life. We come to life in a particular way. I know just doing counseling with people and coaching, sometimes I work with people who are struggling with depression or just feeling a little under it. And one of the most important things we can do when we feel like that is to find some way of doing something for someone else. It is a giving that we receive. It's kind of like we create everything on this plane of consciousness is, whether we like to think of it or not, it's cause and effect. It's positive, negative charge. You know, if you're into baseball like I am, they used to call, they still do, the battery of the team is the pitcher and the catcher. Without that activity, the ball being thrown and the catcher catching it or the batter hitting it, but it's the battery of the team. Without that positive, negative, throwing, catching, throwing back, the game doesn't happen. So it's how good can we become at tuning into what makes us come alive, and what can we give to start the motion of receiving. You know, what goes around comes around. It might not necessarily be the exact act. Like if you know, sometimes people get worried about, oh my God, what if I did a horrible thing? Is that going to come back around? It's not so much. It's the intention that we use. I remember there are certain pieces of biblical scripture I remember, and it was, be sure your good deeds will not get you into heaven. Did you hear that one? It's not so much what we do, it's how we feel about these things while we're doing it. We can do all these great things and look like we're really doing it, but what is our motivation behind it? If it's to help spark and keep love alive, even if it doesn't go very well, even if it like as a mistake or something goes wrong, it's still, you've created an opportunity for love. And so today, I know I also talk a lot with people during the week, struggling with a lot of the things that we can't control in the larger world. There are some people who are in control of those events. We're not, unless you work for the Defense Department or the this or that, making those big decisions. But what you can do is put forth a consciousness that creates a shift And when somebody sits to ponder what the next move is, there's more of what you would like to see available in the cosmic reality than what is currently happening. So for us, it's coming alive. The more we can be alive in life and in joy, the more accessible that becomes to other people. So how do we do this? So I've got a list. I prepared a list of about 25 different things you can do to come alive in 25 simple steps. Well, what makes you come alive? If you're watching, send us in the chat what makes you come alive. And I'm going to, because we have some people in the room, who wants to share, like, what, when you're a little off, what do you do to make yourself come back alive? Anyone?
Music.
Music?
I sing.
You sing?
I draw.
You draw? Paint?
Dance.
You write?
Walk
Dance?
in the woods.
Dance? Walk in the woods? Eat cake?
Up
I don't know.
Go see water. Even curtains.
Yeah, so here it is. It's not that hard to think about. Like, what makes you come alive? And you've heard me say this quote dozens of times for sure. It's the Howard Thurman quote. It's my favorite one. It's don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive. Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. Why is that? If we take it inside in ourselves, when our cells are puffy and happy with energy and they're hydrated, there's a thing called cellular communication. And when they're big and wide with joy and hydrated, they rub against each other faster. So let's say if you stub your toe, whatever needs to get to that area to help it heal, it gets there twice as fast. So it's kind of like fat and happy cells. We want that. We want that consciousness too. We want that, I am a big wide ball of joy, and if you bounce into me, you're not going to walk away not feeling that. You're just going to feel it. So this, how can we do cellular communication, but we can do just human communication. Like many of us are smiling right now. I see you smiling at me, I'm smiling back at you. It reminds me of some of my favorite musicians. They say, sometimes people are hearing things when we're performing, and their face is just like, so like if you've eaten something that tastes really good and it's a complex flavor, like I don't know about you, but I make a face that's just so good, I don't even know what to do, but it looks like I hate it. And my friend's like, don't you like it? I'm like, no, I love it, it's just amazing. But they would say the same thing, like people were loving their music, but they just make a face. And he'll still say, do you like the music? And they'll say, yeah. Well, then tell your face. So this is one way we can do it. We're smiling and laughing. Find something that makes you laugh. When you're feeling off the mark, it's never been easier to, there's so many different comedians and sitcoms and things like this to just help us spark from the outside. These are sparks from the outside. Once you get sparked, put yourself in motion, doing the thing you would like most to be doing. So it doesn't become an endless watching of, like I binged, I've watched and watched and watched. Let it get you going, and once it gets you going, get yourself then engaged. Kind of like this, how many of you ever drove a stick shift car? Right? If something was off on the car, if you can get it rolling, you can catch it in gear. Yeah. Everybody laughs because we've been there. Push it a little faster, and it took it on, you catch it in gear. Let yourself get caught in gear. Get something to jumpstart you, to make you laugh, then catch your own self in gear and drive it the rest of the way. Go where you want to go. Do what you want to do. See what I mean? So it doesn't become a way of life and something that you become dependent upon outside of yourself. We have this joy within. And it starts in the heart, but we all are here to help each other. Another one is, how many of you keep a gratitude journal? A gratitude journal. It's a good way to start. Like, write down the small things that are going well for you, or things you're really grateful for. But not just thinking about the list of the things you're grateful for. Write one at a time and allow yourself to go from your mind to drop into your heart and feel what it is that this thing or this person makes you feel. Because what we're doing is growing that spark. That's joy. If you make a list of 10 things and you give yourself 10 jolts of joy, it's very difficult to maintain a mood of displeasure. You become invigorated. Like how many of you, decluttering is another one. even one drawer, or one piece of a drawer. And everybody's probably familiar now with Marie Kondo, right? The genius thing she did was couple something that some people love it. Like, once you get into it, if you got the time, it's really amazing. But decluttering is not high on anybody's list of, yes, let's go declutter. But she made it that way. Does this spark joy? And what it does is how many things you touch. If you touched 100 things, asking the same question, you're in search of joy now instead of cluttering, decluttering. You're not working. You're doing something to spark joy. And when you buy things, if you've done the decluttering thing with Marie Kondo, when you go out to purchase clothing, is it different now? Does it spark joy? No, it doesn't. It looks kind of cool, but all of a sudden we're cutting the groove of joy, joy, joy. Joy becomes the habit. It's really subtle, but profound. So decluttering is sparking joy. How many of you watched at Christmas time, maybe Elf? Okay. One of my favorite lines in that whole movie is when James Caan's character says to Elf, why are you smiling?
Yeah.
I like smiling. Smiling's my favorite. And he says, how about work? Make work your favorite, Work's your new favorite. That's the boss. He goes, smiling's my favorite. So what if you make a day of, today I'm going to smile at everyone I meet. This is going to be my day of smiling. Right? I think I told you the story of Annika and I were we were cutting corners through a freezing cold Pittsburgh, the city. And we were walking down the street and we realized if we go through this door, through that door, we can get some heat before we get to the next street. And so we were doing that. And we came around the corner of the pharmacy. And there was a gentleman standing there, and I saw him. And I just kind of gave him a half, I felt for him. I felt like he just didn't look well. And all of a sudden, he looked, and it looked like he was looking at me, and he said, okay, Smiley. And I thought, Smiley? And he goes, not you, the one behind you. And I turned around, and Annika had this big, huge, she was just beaming him a smile, but it made him smile. And so, I'll tell you who else does this. When we're on tour going through toll booths, Annika and I would always try to make a connection with that person and be nice to them. But the one who's taking it to the next level, Natalia, first time we're on tour together, she's like, oh, we're going through the toll booth. We got to make sure we get a smile out of this person. I was like, could you imagine standing in a toll booth all day long collecting $5? I'm like, no. So we pull up, and we're both like, smiling, this big smile, and this person just bursts out laughing. She goes, it works every time. It does. So just make a game of it. Be the smile meister, the cheer meister, So, but you have to be committed to it, especially when people don't smile back. But show them your soul smile. Smile from your heart. And you'll find the more you give of smiles, the more you get to do it. It's like the energy of money is the same thing. It's the green energy, they call it. The more you put it into circulation, the more you get, because it knows you know what to do with it. So here's some smile energy. Everybody's been deputized. You're all little cheermeisters of your area. So get out there and smile. Sometimes we fall into a rut of eating the same thing. Yeah? Yeah. Try something different. It's like, these are all senses, right? Sparking your sense of pleasure through food. Try something. How many of you are like this? Somebody says, oh my God, try that, it's delicious. What is that? Why do you need to know? Just try it. Because what we want to know is we'll analyze it and break it all down. And, well, what else is in it? No, I don't like, unless you have food allergies. But I just feel like if you don't have food allergies and, you can eat it, just try it and then let somebody tell you what it is. So that your mind doesn't weed out all the reasons why you shouldn't try this thing, And if you're like me, if there's something that I don't like, there's not much I don't like now on the planet. I eat almost anything. I can even eat hot foods now. There was a time I couldn't eat spicy food. But I wanted to because I know it brings out the flavor. And so now I can do it. But it took me a long time. The only two things I still don't like on their own are lima beans on their own. Yeah, I see faces. But if they're in soup or something like that, and peas on their own. And I think it's a consistency issue there. I don't know. There's something about it. But the point here is, try something you're sure you don't like. Try it again every once in a while. Just see what happens. You might surprise yourself. Because we keep changing. We grow and we change. And that's the thing. And if you're trying new things all the time, new neural connections come through our brains, and things that just seem not palatable at all will change for you. So give it a shot. And you might still hate these things, but at least you know that you know. But try it every once in a while. Be your own best friend. Take a minute and consider what that means. If your best friend called, was having a rough day, or a rough hour, what would you say to them? Somebody you loved and cared about. And try to make sure that your own internal dialogue is the same. Be as gentle with yourself and as loving with yourself as you would with your best friend, because ultimately, you are your own best friend. You're with yourself 24/7. And your best friend is the cosmic consciousness who's there all the time too. And this self-talk, you can do it. Try that. Do this thing. You got this. Have fun while you're doing it. Have you ever tried something new? This is another one. Try something new. Try something new. Whether you thought you could do it or not. People say, try to do something you never thought you could do. Try something you think you could do but never gave yourself a chance. Just try something new. And how many times have you done that and were so like half in it and half worried about screwing it up that as soon as you were finished, you were like, oh my God, I want to go do that again. I wish I could do that right now again. You know, think of those times. The first time I sang the national anthem for the Pittsburgh Pirates, I was, there was this 4-second delay in the, you start singing, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Next thing you hear, oh, say, can you see? It comes back in 4 seconds, so you had to just kind of, but I was so freaked out that I was going to mess it up. But as soon as it was done, I was like, I want to do it again. And I did later, but it's just like, that was where I learned, have fun while you're doing it. What's going to happen? What are you going to do? So go for it. Learning to forgive. This is a little deeper on the joy factor. But learning to forgive, ultimately, people don't disappoint us. It's our expectation of people that creates disappointment. If we give ourselves room to be who we are and to try and maybe not succeed to the level we wanted to, but the more we could be forgiving of ourselves, the more it becomes so easy to forgive others when, let's say, they miss the mark. And forgiveness doesn't mean you have to sign up for something that's a repeatable occurrence with somebody. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is there's so much power in, I forgive it and I let it go. I let it go because I want to make more room for joy in my life. Reflect on it, see what the lesson might have been for you. Is this a consistent pattern with you, with them? Just analyze it for a little bit and then make some corrections. We spend more time trying to get other things that aren't as important right and perfect than we do giving ourselves the proper attention to, let's say, just, I don't want to say perfect, but to practice makes progress, to progress and allow ourselves to enjoy each other more. So careful where we set ourselves up to put our joy and make it the responsibility of someone else to make us happy. Careful. Really, really careful. Very rarely does that happen, unless you're going to an event or something where you've got people who are getting paid to entertain. Let me, that's the thing. There's an expectation that is a realistic expectation. It should be of a certain level. But not everybody in your life is up to that all the time. And neither are we for ourselves sometimes. So forgive self, and you'll be amazed at how much that just flows right into others. Having compassion for others. Letting go of filler activity. I think during the pandemic there was a lot of filler activity. Does anybody have an idea of what that might be?
Netflix?
Netflix. That's an example. There you go. Filler activity. Or have you ever picked up a book that you thought you really love and just don't love it? But you've got this idea that if I started it, I have to finish it. Do you have that? If I started it, I have to finish. You don't always have to finish a book that is just not getting it for you. So give yourself permission to recognize you're not quitting. You're just, this is just not what I thought. Bam, put it down. You know. So filler activity. Get rid of that and engage more in what's happening. Like this morning, I'm so excited because I've been watching the deer in my backyard. There are two does. Is it doe? How do you say plural doe? Two female deer. Doe, a deer, two female deer in the backyard. And I knew they were about to have fawns. And sure enough, there's one in the yard today. I mean, barely. I was almost late because I couldn't stop watching them. Just kind of hobbling around, bobbling. I'll put some videos on Facebook. But that's not filler activity. That's juice for me. I mean, I've been waiting for them. I saw my groundhog. I saw everybody this morning. You know, it's participating with the beauty of the cycle of life. You know, so those kinds of things are filler. But endless scrolling on Facebook. You know, it's just, or whatever the scroll factor is, it's easy to get caught up in it. It's designed to get you caught up in it. It's designed to do that thing. So be alert. Take charge of your consciousness. Exercise. Just getting up and going for a walk. You don't have to power walk. Just go for a walk, and I dare you to not listen to anything. Just observe. Be alone with your thoughts and the thoughts the infinite wants to drop in while you're seeing lovely things. You'll notice things you never noticed before. And when we're listening to other things, our eyes are even on more hyper alert, taking in other things that you're not really noticing. You're just more scanning in reptilian brain to make sure nothing's coming at you because your ears aren't engaged. So being more present on your walks, making them Zen-like and Qigong-like, feeling your feet, and maybe like I taught a mindfulness class, just like make it like the Michael Jackson walk on Billie Jean. Like light, you know, just be co-creating the light. I'm circulating light and joy as I go for my walk today. You'll be amazed at how much fun that is. Some of the other things you can do too is something like when I teach creativity practices, just getting different neural connections going in the brain and to make us have to see things differently. There was a statistic that I heard many years ago that most car accidents happen within a 5-mile radius of your home. Why do you think that is?
Autopilot. You're not
Autopilot. Yeah, when you're almost home. Like the more you start to travel, like when I drive back and forth to Pittsburgh or when I lived in California, we're on tour all the time. The time I thought I was almost home started to be like an hour away. Oh, God, we're almost home. You know, I never let my guard down in California or anywhere else either. You can't. But it's like you do. You get on this autopilot. It's almost like the car drives you. Have you ever been driving and you're home and you don't even recognize, I don't even get it. I don't even remember doing that. So the trick is drive home a different way. Take a different route to where you're going because it'll spark new information. You'll see things you've never seen before or different people on your path. Just shift it up a little bit. Shift it up. Brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. That's a new way of creating new neural connections. Your whole day will be different. It will just be different. Things like that. Just little things we can do. You know, if you're drawing something, we might do this in a class or just draw something and then in the middle of your drawing, turn it upside down. And then see what it looks like. Like what's it look like from here? What's it look like from here? Just move it around a little bit so that you get different points of entry into your creative opportunity. So, and allowing yourselves to feel everything. I know pain is not, we don't like to line up to feel that, but allow yourself to feel it. Because sometimes we try to mask. I find if you introspect a little and you notice when you're feeling pain, some of those mindless things, that filler stuff, is avoidance of pain. But allow yourself to feel it and recognize where it comes from, what it's about. Was it here to show you? Because I love somebody and I miss them. That's not a fun thing. But there are a lot of fun things in the love that came forth. So allow yourself permission to feel. Who would like permission to feel? Go for it. And joy, joy, joy. Make joy your habit. Make joy your way of life. Find things that make you laugh. Be with people who make you laugh and make you happy. Not make you happy, but like help to reinforce that joy. There was a saying, I think I told you about this, Team Creed that my mother had on our refrigerator growing up. And it was, choose only a date who will make a good mate, was one of them. And the other one is be careful of the company you keep, because you become what they are. So if you make it your business to become an artist, you most likely want to hang out with artists. You want to hang out with the people who are musicians, hang out with musicians, not only exclusively, but if that's the thing you want to have more of, find it, participate with it, and stick with it. Allow yourself to have it. And create a habit of meditation, which is where we started this talk today, Open Wide My Heart. On the way of love, Rumi said, you must be very alive. The lifeless heart has nothing to sing. You must be very alive. So my wish for all of you is to find a meditation practice that allows you to bring forth that joy that is always in there. The bliss of the soul is waiting. It's always with you, always with you. Bringing it from the inside out. We are not conditioned. Our happiness is not conditioned on anything outside of us, but we have a greater appreciation for it because I resonate with it. I can find joy everywhere once I become joy myself. It's everywhere. I can't fall out of that vibration of joy. So my deepest wish for you is to amplify the joy, become very alive, and thrive. And on the way of love, be very alive, and be a heart with life, and sing the divine song of your own soul. Thank you. And now enjoy a live recording of Elisa Nanica, On the Way of Love, inspired by the poetry of Rumi. Enjoy this video.
On the way of love, you must be very alive. A lifeless heart has nothing to sing. You must be very alive. So who's alive? The one whose soul is born from love, whose soul is born from love. Thunder will rumble from out of the heart, from the body the soul will flash. Lightning strikes from a tumbling cloud, the whole meadow greets the storm of spring. So who's alive? The one whose soul is born from love, whose soul is born from love, love. In love, search for us. In us, search for this. In love, search for us. In us, search for this. In love, search for us. In us, search for this. In love, search for us. In us, search for this. In love, search for us. In us, search for this.
In love, search for us. In us, search for this. In love, search for us. In us, search for this. Let's just sing that together. In love, search for us. In us, search for this. In love, search for us. In us, search for this. In love, search for us. In us, search for this. Think about what that is. O cosmic creator, thou and I are one. There is never a time when we are not connected. In love, in the overall scheme of the universe, in love, search for us. And in us, search for this. We, inside, we are the infinite cosmos inside. And we picture it and bring it forth from the cosmic intelligence of ourselves. In love, search for us. In us, search for this spark, this coming alive, the magnetic force of our hearts, our souls calling, and the echo of which is love always. Bless us on our way. Make our weeks, this week, filled with worthwhile accomplishments and with your blessed presence. Om. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for being here in person. And if you live around Columbus, join us 10 o'clock, which is a pretty civilized hour on a Sunday morning, I believe. And you can still go have brunch and do all sorts of things. 10 a.m. we've got coffee and all candy. And Lisa, I mean, they just create an unbelievable array of sweets and really fun things. And awesome people. Give yourselves a great big hand for coming today. We thank you for your donations. You help keep us going. And one of the things I'm excited to share, what your donations are going to help us to do, is we are going to be putting forth an active call for live musicians. Certain types of things, but your dollars will help us pay musicians. And we are so excited about this. We're going to be having auditions. You're going to find out more in the newsletter. If you live in Columbus, you could come and sit in on the live auditions. But if you can't get here, we're going to have it live streamed too. So you can zoom in and watch what's happening. It's going to be the last 2 Wednesdays of June. More information, if you have a favorite artist you would love to see here, make sure they come to the open auditions. That's the only way it's going to happen. You've got to audition. You got to play to win. So we're looking forward to that, but your donations will help us to do this and to offer the programming, help us set up and provide refreshments and all the things we're doing. So we thank you for that. Thank you for your donations. SoulCallGlobal.org/donate. All different kinds of ways to do it. If you're on Amazon Smile, I know some people don't love Amazon Smile all the time, but if you find yourself in the habit of using Amazon or you need to, look for SoulCall Inc. in the Amazon Smile section, and we get contributions from Amazon anytime you spend money doing anything you want. It doesn't cost you anything more. Same with Kroger. If you shop at Kroger, make us your option there. We're also on the Columbus Foundation. So find us. We thank you for your contributions. We're doing amazing things in the world. Feeding people. We're going to be working with children, creating opportunities for them to experience creativity and come alive. So that will help us to pay the people to go into shelters or to create opportunities for us to rent space and offer music, art, things like this. So thank you for allowing us to do the work we were set up to do in the world. Prayers, if you're in need of prayer, prayers at SoulCallGlobal.org. We've got a fantastic prayer team, and don't allow yourself to carry something and feel like you're all alone. Our prayer team is connected to our healing arts team, prayer team connected to healing team, which is led by Candy and Jean DeMuzio right now. But the whole team will send Reiki if you want Reiki, remote healing energy. And people are feeling it. The stories we get back from the people who are benefiting from the prayers and the healing energy coming your way. Just do yourself a favor. Be a friend to yourself and allow yourself to receive help. Mondays, Meditation Mondays from 8 to 9 p.m. online. You can get the link at SoulCallGlobal.org. Just register. It's free. Donations are welcome. But every Monday night from 8 to 9, we do meditation just to get into the practice of group meditation. And Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, and May 31st also, from 7 to 8 p.m. right here at AIAM. Our very own Sifu Helen Yi is, conducting a Qigong class. It's an experiential Qigong class. Last week we had 12 people. We're out in the courtyard here. Absolutely gorgeous, powerful, powerful practice. So join us. It's $20 a person for the entire hour. And I'd say sit at the feet, but you're kind of standing at the feet and moving at the feet of our own master. So Tuesday night, right here, AIAM, 7 to 8, and the following Tuesday. And also, coming up, we're going to be having a couple weeks from now, June 5th, Sunday, June 5th. Helen also has a book launch coming. Her book, I Belong Here, tells the story of growing up as an Asian immigrant in the United States of America in the 60s, and all of her trials and all of her triumphs and some silly shenanigans too. It's a great book. So it's available right now on armaturepublishing.com. It's also available on Amazon, and you can get it signed right here June 5th at 11:30. So we thank you so much for being here with us, for making us part of your life. Please share us with your friends on social media. Share our newsletter. People love the newsletter. And wherever you are in the world, always remember that. Ready? You are loved. Peace and blessings. Thank you.
One family, one people, one planet, one love, one family.